a Campfire Canon reimagining and retelling of 1 Samuel 22, verses 1 and 2. David sat shivering in the cave. It was a hot and humid night, but he shivered and shook, longing for the tears that would not come. He looked at his calloused fingers, hands that were meant to hold the shepherd's crook or to pluck the strings of the harp. He longed for those long nights, watching his father's flock and playing gentle, nameless melodies into the night, praying sweet, wordless prayers of protection over the flock as they grazed. Those days seemed like a different lifetime belonging to somebody else. His harp long since broken during the endless march of war. Discarded when his own king threw spears at him, having to flee the taunts and the jealousy. David clutched the arrow from Jonathan, the king's oldest son. The shaft was broken and bent, but it was the truest sign of devotion. David's fingers plucked at the arrow's fletching, as if they were the strings of the harp, and he said a silent thank you for the simple warning to fly far away. He clutched tighter and began to wail, Adonai, O Adonai, what is left of me? I am too parched to cry. But you will lead me to water. Even as the path before me is littered with traps, my enemies hunt me day and night. I have no refuge, nowhere to lay my head. A distant spark of lightning arced through the sky, far away. And instead of thunder, David heard a distant bird song floating on the wind. You are my refuge. I am comforted under your shadow. Listen to me. I can't take much more. Save me from my enemies. They are too strong. Bring me close to you. Help me to praise your name again. Restore me. Those who hunger for justice will surround me. We will dine on your bounty. David was unaware of how his voice carried down the valley. The years of singing to his sheep and of praying fervently had trained even a heartbroken plea to sound like a song. The people of the valley heard his cries and they wept. They knew the pain of Saul's wars, lands destroyed, people conscripted, families devastated, old wounds opened again. They wept over debts they could never outrun. They confronted the terrible things they had to do just to survive. Above all, they trembled at the awesome love of Adonai, remembering at last the promise of refuge. They looked towards the peak and they began a slow march up the mountain in search of the bard whose words stirred them so. David saw the gathering crowd, 400 people or more, climbing towards him. He readied himself, certain that the king's men had found him at last. He was a warrior, it was true. He slew giants. His deeds were legendary, but even still, he could not face an army by himself single-handedly with nothing but a bent and broken arrow. He approached the crowd, searching for the words that might be able to spare him. He noticed, however, as he approached, that they were no army. Their faces were gaunt, their eyes were sunken, their clothes frayed and tattered at the edges, their cheeks still shimmering with some tears that had not yet evaporated in the night. And these people, they sank to their knees. We can't take it anymore. We need change. And David looked up and lifted his gaze. We all do. We need guidance. We need hope. And David bowed his head in prayer. His voice caught on the first few words, unused to praying before a crowd. Skill unpracticed. Merciful God, in you our souls take refuge. Shield us under your wing until the storms pass by. A gentle rain began to fall, and David basked in the water for a moment, letting it wet his cracked lips. As he continued, the flow of old prayers returned to him. Adonai, your purpose fills us. In your Hesed, we are loved and restored. Your astounding beauty lifts us up. The lions and hunters surround us. But they will not bring us down. They set their traps before our feet, but it is they who fall into their pits. They hounded us night and day, but they only herded us together. Our hearts are revived, O God. And the people responded, "Our hearts are revived, O God." "My heart leaps, my heart soars." David continued, surprised at first to the interruption. The people joined again. "Our hearts leap, our hearts soar." Now many voices rose together. "Let us sing and make melodies. Sing until the break of day. Shout with praise and gratitude. To all people shout your praise. Your love, Adonai, restores the earth. Your faithfulness flows from the clouds. O God, beyond the heavens. Your beauty shines over the earth." The night grew into a blur of shouted songs, singing, and dancing, and when their feet ached too much to keep standing, they collapsed in a heap. One man brought out a few crusts of stale bread, another brought a jug of soured wine. Bit by bit, a ramshackle banquet emerged. They shared their stories. "Saul's men took my family. They hunted me as a deserter because I wouldn't burn a village. My crops were destroyed, and honestly, I can't face what I've done to survive." Bands of pink and purple rose from the valley as the sun began its ascent. "What should we do?" asked David. "We organize," someone answered. "We find the others before Saul's men do." Then another shared about a neighbor who was also forced into hiding. They started talking about all the people who were lost, bitter, and alone. David said, "It's clear. People need a message of hope." "More than that," a voice rang out, "people need a community. They need change." David responded, "Let's find them and build it."